Thank you for joining us for Nakani's Traditional Medicine Program, Winter Storytime series featuring Indigenous authored and published children's books. Tonight I will be sharing with you How Devil's Club Came to Be by Tlingit author Miranda Rose Worl and illustrated by Tlingit artist Michaela Goade and published by Sealaska Heritage Institute, Baby Raven Reads program. How Devil's Club Came to Be. Raven was walking along the beach and mourning. Many of the people in his village had fallen ill, and their shaman, the healer, had gone missing. Desperate, Raven continued along the beach, hoping to find him. After many hours, Raven suddenly heard a terrible roar. A shaman he did not recognize ran out of the tree line. A giant burst through the trees, flailing a spiky wooden club. The giant grabbed the shaman and dragged him back into the woods. Troubled, Raven flew back to the village thinking, "That giant must be the one who took our shaman." When Raven landed, he gathered his people and told them what he had seen and what he planned to do. He would find the giant and defeat him. But just as he was ready to leave, he began to feel sick. Raven had caught the illness. Many of the boys lined up, eager to take on Raven's task, but Raven denied them all. Instead, he called upon his niece. Raven's niece had always done what Raven had asked of her, and was always ready to listen and learn from her uncle. "You must be the one to fight the giant," Raven told her. With that, he sent his niece to find the giant. Just as Raven had done, she began to walk along the beach. The beach grew steeper and steeper until she found herself on the top of a cliff, overlooking the sea. She was just about to continue her search when she heard rustling behind her. She turned to look. Raven's niece found herself looking up at a huge, shadowy figure. It was the giant. He raised his spiky wooden club. As it came down, Raven's niece dove between the giant legs and shot at him with her bow and arrows. She watched with satisfaction as the arrows stuck into his ankles. But the giant only growled and pulled them out. He raised his club and rushed toward her. With nowhere to go, Raven's niece ran back toward the cliff and leapt off the edge. She closed her eyes and prepared to hit the water. After several moments, she realized she was no longer falling. She was in a village that looked very much like her home, except that all around her were tall beings that looked half bird and half human. The leader approached her. "Welcome! We are the Thunderbird people. Tell us, what brings you here?" the clan leader asked. Raven's niece told them of the illness in her village and of the giant. "Ah," said the clan leader of the Thunderbirds. "Our shaman was also taken by the giant. Since you are on a quest to defeat him, we will help you." He took off his chilkat robe and draped it around her shoulders. As it touched her, the weight of the robe seemed to disappear, leaving it light as a feather. Raven's niece thanked him and said goodbye. She closed her eyes and prepared to return through the sea that separated their worlds. She waded into the water and thought of her family who were sick and of the giant still wandering. She waded out until she was fully underwater and the world of the Thunderbirds fell silent. She found herself once again falling. But Raven's niece did not cry out. The voice of the Thunderbird clan leader boomed in her head. She spread her arms outward, but they were no longer arms. They were the wings of a giant bird. They were the wings of the Thunderbird. She flew to the cliff where the giant still stood, looking for her. She swooped down and grasped his spiky club with her talons and shredded it into pieces, and then she circled back. She sunk her talons into the giant, flew off with him, and dropped him into the water far, far away. From then on, she was known as the girl who defeated the giant. She returned to the cliff and lay down in exhaustion. She realized she had also caught the illness. Again, the Thunderbird clan leader's voice called out to the girl, telling her what she must do. In a haze, she got up and began walking into the woods. The girl found that where the shreds of the giant's club had fallen, spiky wooden plants had grown in their place. Taking one plant, she cut a piece of the inner bark and began to chew on it. Chewing on the plant gave her the strength to make it back to her village. The people were weary from the illness, but rejoiced in the girl's return. They asked many questions in response. The girl told them of the Thunderbird people who had helped her. Then she told them how she defeated the giant and survived the illness. The girl pulled out the spiky wooden plants she had collected. She explained how the plants gave her strength and healed her. At first, the villagers were weary, but they trusted the girl and chewed on the inner bark. Once they rid the illness from the village, the people learned to respect the powerful plant. These plants grown from the shredded bits of the giant's club are what we now call S'acht, Devil's Club. Since the giant had fought many shaman, his club had absorbed their healing abilities. To this day, Devil's Club, like a shaman, helps heal and protect us. The end. Thank you for letting me share this story with you. I hope you enjoyed it. Please follow Nakanni Native Program on Facebook and check out our YouTube channel to view the other stories that the Traditional Medicine Program is sharing throughout our Winter Storytime series. We want to thank you too, Sealaska, for allowing us the opportunity to share these stories with you. To purchase the book that was highlighted in tonight's video, please visit Sealaska Heritage Institute's Baby Raven Reads program at the link shown at the end of this video.